Hello, we're back. Actually gonna bake some stuff today. Okay, so I went out to lunch with some friends the other day and went to Sqirl in LA, which is one of my favorite spots, despite the controversy. I love it. I think it's delicious. I think it's consistent, tasty. Everyone's really nice that works there. Anyway, I had a Malva, which I had never had before. And by looking at it, it's not something like you don't see it and you're like, oh, what a beautiful looking pastry. No offense, Malva. But I saw apricot and I am a big fan of apricot, anything. So I was like, let's give it a shot. Let's get a little pastry. I'm going to make a Malva cake. They're usually served like individual, at least how they do it at Sqirl and how I've seen online, but I'm gonna do it as like a big cake. I'm also recipe testing for an event. We're gonna see how this goes. I'm actually gonna use Sqirl's cookbook, so I'm gonna mostly do their recipe, but I'm gonna maybe finesse a couple things just based off feeling, and also since I'm doing it for a cake pan, you know, we just gotta tweak a little bit. So let's go. We need milk, butter, flour. We need baking powder, baking soda. So let's grab all of the accoutrements first. Okay, so we've got all the goods, all of the goods. Sugar, heavy cream, milk, butter, flour, apricot jam from my local farmer's market. I'm very excited to try this one. So let's go. We're gonna preheat the oven to 375. So it's really the texture, I mean the texture and the flavor of this is just, it's akin to like a bread pudding. Munching on some butter. Okay, we're gonna get the standing mixer for this as well. 125 grams of flour. A double yolk. Wow. Look at that. Can you see that? That's so cute. Cool. I don't actually think I've ever gotten that before. So do we need 2 eggs? Do we? I don't know. I'm thinking not, right? We're gonna try not. Okay. So I'm gonna mix the jam, butter, then vinegar in that order. Vinegar, like, it's like a chemical reaction to things. So I'm assuming this is for a reason. So I'm going to follow her instructions on this. Also, for your reference, this is the book. Everything I Want to Eat. It's a really great book. And a lot of times, like restaurant cookbooks, I'm always like, I'll just go to the restaurant because it usually has a lot of steps or it has ingredients that you won't necessarily have on hand. But this one, this is a good one. Okay, so jam, butter, vinegar. You made it. You made it. You made it. Half a teaspoon of vinegar, so not a lot. I'm gonna use apple cider vinegar. You can use white vinegar too, but I'm gonna use apple cider vinegar. Okay, so this is fun. This reminds me of how I make my banana bread. So with the vinegar, especially because I use vinegar, lemon juice to make buttermilk, and you alternate, right? Like mixing in the milk and then mixing in the flour. And these are the similar instructions. So that's really comforting. And my banana bread is very moist. So that's what we're going for. We want something that's really moist. So it's fun to like find the themes in different recipes that you like. 1 cup of whole milk. I'm using, you already know, I'm using the raw milk because in my mind, it is one of my favorite top 5 foods. Top 5, for sure, top 5. Okay, so what you're doing is you're doing about 1/3 of milk, 1/3 of the flour mixture, 1/3 of the milk, 1/3 of the flour mixture, alternate, okay? No rush here, we're chilling. Oh my god. It's gonna be insane. Okay, so it's nice, it's a nice like cakey. It's a nice cake batter and it tastes insane. I can already tell it's gonna be fantastic. So we're going to put this into, so this recipe calls for putting it in like little, almost like cupcake holders, which that's cool, but since I'll be making this theoretically for 30 plus people, I want to just do it like more like a cake. But that's why we're tasting it, because maybe that's like not kosher, right? So I also was thinking like, oh, I'd use like a big 9x12 pan, but I think it's gonna be too thin, and I want it to have some density to it. So I'm gonna use a pie pan. I was thinking maybe like a loaf pan, but I think I'm gonna try a pie pan. We're gonna see how this goes. So it has room to rise. We're gonna give this a whirl. And you want it to brown. You really want it to be cooked, because you're gonna add a custard filling to it. That'll really make it dense, and if that's too undercooked, then you're gonna have a legit pudding, what we think of as pudding, or what I think of as pudding. So really cook it through about 40 minutes. Okay, now for the caramel filling. It also calls for a little sprinkling a little sugar on top of it before you put it in the oven, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't think it needs it necessarily. But again, I could just be like proven wrong, but I think it will be fine without it, because we're gonna add the custard, which has more sugar, and I'm gonna serve it ideally with like a whipped cream, which will also have sugar. So I think like it's fine. Under your own, use your own discernment. Okay, so I just realized that I put 1.5 sticks of butter in with this cake, okay? And it called for 1.5 tablespoons. 1.5 tablespoons. I did like 12 to 14 tablespoons. I mean, maybe this is just gonna be an incredibly happy accident. I don't know. I maybe need to eat something. I am shook at myself. Let's just see how this goes. Actually, 1 stick, just 1 stick. 1 little stick here. Just took a peek in the oven to look at how the cake's looking, and it's browning on top, which is perfect. I can't believe I used that much butter. I mean, I can believe because I'm a butter queen, but I'm very intrigued to see how this turns out, if it even needs the pudding, because it's gonna have so much other fat in it already. Yes, I just did 35 minutes, and it looks, and it smells. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, so now we put some little holes in with a knife, and then we're gonna pour the pudding in. Okay, I didn't use all of the filling because, once again, it's already going to be very moist because of all the butter that I used, and okay, fuck it, let's add more. Why not, right? Now we're supposed to eat it right away, so let's eat it. I'm gonna use a spoon because it's so moist. I'm not even gonna use a knife to do that. I'm just gonna spoon it out. Let me show you. Let me just show you. This is quite literally insanity. This is insanity. I mean, Except this is like one of the most incredible things I've ever had.